So good morning friends, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. Let's start the session. अभी 1 मिनट में सेशन जो है हम लोग शुरू करने वाले हैं. The PDF for today's session has already been uploaded. So we are just about to start. चलिए, सो शुभम, सुविंद, वैभव, चाहत, नंदिनी, विक्की, रवि, चेतु, प्रांजल, दुर्गेश, पूजा, गुड मॉर्निंग. सो वी आर जस्ट अबाउट टू स्टार्ट. आरती, गुड मॉर्निंग. चलिए, हम अभी जो है इस सेशन को शुरू करेंगे. लेट्स सी व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज देयर फॉर अस. ओके, सो नोटिफिकेशन नहीं आ रहे हैं. What I can say is that प्रार्थना कीजिए कि आने शुरू हो जाए. ठीक, वही हम कर सकते हैं. There are lot of things which are not in our hand. Okay, कोई deliberately रोक रहा है, नहीं रोक रहा है, तब सब ऊपर वाले की you can say माया है. So let's start the session. Okay, so you already know that at 9 AM we are here, so you don't need notifications. ठीक है ना, आपको सुबह पता ही होता है 9 बजे हम आते हैं. तो देखते हैं आज क्या है. एंड हेयर वी आर गोइंग टू फर्स्ट लुक इनटू द स्टेटमेंट मेड बाय गौतम बुद्धा. सो गौतम बुद्धा इज सेइंग दैट ऑनेस्टी इज द फर्स्ट चैप्टर इन द बुक ऑफ विजडम. ऑनेस्टी इज द फर्स्ट चैप्टर इन द बुक ऑफ विजडम. नाउ यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग. विजडम इज रिक्वायर्ड इन आवर लाइफ बिकॉज देर आर लॉट ऑफ इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजंस दैट यू आर गोइंग टू मेक अप इन योर लाइफ. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजन आप अपनी लाइफ में लेते हो. And the point is this, you want to take a right decision. For that you need to have wisdom. Okay, तो इसमें honesty की जरूरत क्या पड़ेगी? Honesty to yourself is important in the sense that first you have to be honest that we don't have all the eternal knowledge that is there in this world in our mind. तो सबसे पहले तो आपको एक चीज कबूल करनी पड़ेगी कि हम भगवान नहीं हैं. ओके, खुदा नहीं है हम. ठीक है ना. So that's the point here. So you have to be honest that you should keep learning throughout your life. That education, learning is a lifelong process. So if you are saying this truth to yourself, if you are honest to yourself that you are not the God, definitely you will keep on imbibing the knowledge, you will keep on possessing the knowledge, and then you will end up developing a wisdom. That's the major point here. Okay, so being honest to yourself will, you can say, persuade you to gain more knowledge, and as you gain more knowledge, definitely the end result will be enlightenment, that is wisdom. This is the important part here. So this life, the whole life is a learning process. So keep on learning. Never ever think that you are at the top of the world. No, there is a further scope to further expand your limit. This is what is about human nature. Okay, so we have the potential to expand our limits. So right now we are in a position to even reach to the outer space. We have expanded our limits. Okay, तो किसी ने सच खुद से बोला होगा कि हाँ दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है, उसको देखने के लिए they keep on trying, they keep on possessing new knowledge, and they have the wisdom. And today we are in a position to reach out to the outer world. Maybe the universe is that big that we will move out of the solar system as well. That's the point here. Okay, so ये सब चलता रहेगा. So let's look into the Hindu analysis, what's there in it. Okay, so Imran Khan wounded in the clear assassination bid. Okay, see, this is not the first time it is happening in Pakistan. So you need to understand one thing here. Now in Pakistan there are lot of things that are controlled by deep states. Deep state, what do you understand by deep state? Basically there are power centers that intelligence agencies of Pakistan are holding. These are the power centers that are being controlled by the Pakistani intelligence agencies. Now the point is this, those intelligence agencies, they belong to Pakistan Army. Okay. So anyone tries to challenge the Pakistani Army, that challenge will be eliminated. History shows that Benazir Bhutto, she was assassinated when she tried to confront the system. Okay. Nawaz Sharif was kicked out. Imran Khan, he tried to challenge the system, the army of Pakistan, and he was also moved out. He is now still gaining the ground there. He is a popular leader. People are coming to his gathering. He has been, you can say, prohibited to carry out the rallies and all, but he is still continuing that. He is gaining the popularity, and this is what is not liked by the Pakistani army. So that's why this type of thing has happened, that someone is trying to kill Imran Khan, and who might be behind it? Definitely Pak army, because they don't like challenges. They want to hold power, they want to control everything in their own hands. Okay. So this is how the politics of Pakistan works. So वहाँ पे सिर्फ फौज ही फौज है. Okay, फौज ही मौज में भी है वहाँ पे. This is what it is in Pakistan. So we'll move to the next part. Now Gujarat to vote in 2 phases. Results to be announced on 8th of December. Okay, so जल्दी से result announce हो जाएगा गुजरात के अंदर, and this time it is going to be a really tough fight. Okay, I cannot put up my political point of view, but definitely this time the Gujarat elections are going to be more interested, because earlier there used to be only 2 parties, Congress, BJP. People they don't have any choice other than these 2, but here at present Aam Aadmi Party is also there, and people they have a third choice as well. So it's a really close contested election. And in 2017, if you remember, Modi ji, he struggled in the sense he had to put up an effort to win Gujarat. It was really difficult at that time. That's the beauty of democracy, that democracy itself will provide an alternative. Okay, democracy का जादू ही यही है कि वो alternative खुद ब खुद provide कर देता है. That's the point here. So this is how it is. This is how it is. So one student is saying, sir, it could be deliberately done by Imran Khan. Yes, we cannot rule it out. इसको rule out नहीं कर सकते हैं, किया भी होगा. Okay, मूवी वगैरह में इस टाइप की स्टोरीज दिखाते हैं, बट द पॉइंट इज दिस, वी कैन नॉट रूल आउट यू कैन से अटैक sponsored by the Pakistani army as well. So let's move to the next part. Let's see. Now here you have a photograph in front of you. The Garo tribe people, they are celebrating Wangla dance. Okay, so this is what we have here. Now Wangla dance is basically celebrated by Garo tribe people from Meghalaya, Nagaland and Assam. Okay, so Garo tribe is not just confined to one state, that is Meghalaya. Some of the Garo tribe people, they are also living in Nagaland and in Assam as well. So what do they do? How do they celebrate? So they are going to consume their staple food along with dancing and all. Okay, and they will be consuming the rice beer. That is, the term for rice beer is chibikchi, okay, or chobo. So chobu. So this is the term that is specifically for the rice beer. Okay, so you need to note it down. This is the prelim centric information. ये पूरा का पूरा prelim centric है, तो आपको clear हो गया गारो tribe कहाँ पे मिलता है, मेघालय, नागालैंड, असम, and this Garo tribe they celebrate Wangla dance. Okay, that's the point. So we'll move to the next. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं और क्या खास है. Now there is another news on the front page itself regarding nanotechnology. Okay, so I won't get into details of nanotechnology, but briefly I will tell you few things about it. Okay, so here they had developed, you can say, a system with the help of gold and mushroom. ठीक है ना, तो mushroom और gold को लेके they had developed a system which is of nanoscale. Nanoscale पे वो लिया जाता है. Nanoscale means size will be 10 raised to the power minus 9. That small. Now that small nanoscale compound, or you can say system, will be used for easy drug delivery. This is what has been facilitated by this. Okay, so here is the complete detail about it. Now they are saying that medicines will be, you can say, directly spotted to the particular cell. जिस सेल के अंदर फॉल्ट है आप डायरेक्टली उस एक सिंगल सेल को मेडिसिन पहुंचा सकते हो. दिस इज द बेनिफिट दैट वी आर गेटिंग आउट ऑफ इट. ओके, नॉर्मली सपोज वी आर लाइक कंज्यूमिंग समथिंग, एक दवाई ली हमने. ओके, नाउ दैट पर्टिकुलर मेडिसिन विल इम्पैक्ट द होल ऑफ ऑर्गन, पूरी की पूरी ऑर्गन को वो इम्पैक्ट करती है. द पॉइंट इज दिस, ओनली से 2-3 सेल्स आर फॉल्टी और ओनली अ पर्टिकुलर एरिया नीडेड दैट मेडिसिन. तो आप पूरी ऑर्गन को मेडिसिन क्यों दे रहे हो? व्हाई आर यू कैन से पुटिंग अप द होल ऑर्गन ऑन दैट मेडिसिन? इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड ना, ओनली फ्यू सेल्स आर फॉल्टी. So the point here is this, with the help of nanotechnology you can definitely deliver the medicine to a particular cell. So this definitely improves the efficacy, the therapeutic efficacy of the medicine as well. वो medicine ज़्यादा effective तरीके से काम करेगी and the less dose will be required. There are lot of medicines which are having side effects as well. Extra consume करेंगे तो नुकसान होगा, but here only that much amount of medicine will be required so that you can target those particular cells. Okay, so here they have formed something called Cordy-Gold nanoparticles. The you can say the thing is core AU NEPs, core AU NPS. Okay, now you should be noting it down for your prelims, because I can make a question like this, that core AU NPS was in news, it is related to what? Okay, the question can be framed by UPSC in this way, that this was in news and it is related to what? The options will be nano medicine, etc., etc., etc. So you should be knowing it, that this is associated with the nanotechnology. Okay, so this is what Cordy-Gold nanoparticles. So what are the components that we have here? So Cordyceps militaris, this is the fungus, Cordyceps militaris, this is the fungus that has been used here, as well as gold salts are used. Okay, but they are scaled down to the size of nano, 10⁻⁻9 तक उसको खींच के ले जाते हैं, बहुत ही छोटा होता है. Okay, this is what it is. So you should be noting it down as it is. आप इसको prelims के लिए note down करेंगे, it is to be important for your prelims. That's the point here. Now other thing is this, Cordyceps militaris, it is a high value parasitic fungus, it is lab grown. Okay, this is the other part, it is lab grown at Department of Biotechnology Incubation Center in Bodoland University. So you must be noting it down which particular institution is developing this technology. So ये भी आपको यहाँ पे पता लगाना है. Okay, that's the point here. So we'll move to the next, आगे चलते हैं. So next is the editorial. Okay, so this editorial has been written by M.K. Narayanan sir. Okay, M.K. Narayanan, he was the former national security advisor in India, and he has been closely watching or observing how Chinese are moving ahead. Okay, so he's saying that recently you can say the Chinese Communist Party, they concluded their 20th party congress, and in that there were few things that were highlighted. One is that Mr. Xi Jinping is definitely one of the most important leaders that China is having. Means his status has been equivalent or just one less than Mao Zedong in China. Mao Zedong, the most prominent leader of China, उनसे सिर्फ एक स्टेप नीचे रखा है या उनके इक्विवेलेंट इनकी लीडरशिप आ गई है. What it means is that his thought process, his ideas, they will be now the guiding principles for the Chinese Communist Party. ये उनके guiding principle हैं, and he is clear about one thing, that China will continue to move ahead no matter how difficult circumstances are there. So his words are like this: high winds, choppy waters, and even dangerous storms, nothing can prevail from, nothing can stop the growth of China. This is what he is saying. This is the new style of leadership he is having. What it means, he is saying that China will continue to go ahead with the idea that China stood for. The point is this: China is showing aggression in our neighborhood, so it means that it will continue to show aggression to us. That's the point here. In the coming time, more issues, more border related problems are going to be there, and we have to be prepared for that. That's the point. And other thing that they come out with is that national security would be the agenda for the governance. So whatever Chinese will be doing, they will keep in mind the national security. And why China is doing this? China is thinking in this way that they have to avoid the collapse that Soviet Union had. जैसे सोवियत यूनियन का कोलैप्स हुआ था, at every cost China doesn't want that type of situation, and for that they have to consolidate their communist party, the party which will just fight for, which will just stood by single thought process, and that single thought process will be decided by Mr. Xi Jinping. तो Xi Jinping की single thought से वो चलेंगे. Whatever differences that are there within the Communist Party, Mr. Xi Jinping is step by step eliminating those differences. This is how his way of working is. He is very clear about it. He is clear about one thing, that China has to reduce the authority of United States in different areas, not only just in the economic spheres, not only just in the geopolitical spheres, in technology and in other areas as well. China has to be a leader. This is what they are thinking. They are ready to take on United States in Indo-Pacific as well as in the neighborhood. And they are also clear about one thing, that disturbance with India and Japan, they will continue. Competition with India and Japan will continue as it is, because India and Japan are the challenger to Chinese authority in Asia. They want to dominate Asia. They are clear about it. They are clear about the goal that they will be making China a developed nation at a particular time, at a particular fixed year, and they will continue to modernize their armed force. So this is the clarity that they have in the thought, and the point is this: you have to deal with this type of neighbor. This is a challenge for India, the neighbor which is powerful economically as well as militarily. तो ये इंडिया के लिए एक बड़ा challenge होगा. We have to figure it out how we will be dealing with it. Okay. So they are saying that by 2049 they are determined to further improve China's national strength and international influence. They are clear about it. Okay. And these words of Mr. Xi Jinping will be the guiding principles for Chinese Communist Party. This is the logic that they have come out with. Okay. Conflict होंगे इंडिया के साथ, जापान के साथ, and they will be dealing with it. And accordingly, India also has to prepare for that. Okay. So if China is expanding militarily, we also have to modernize our army. We also have to modernize our navy. Okay. We have no other choice. हमारे पास कोई choice नहीं है. You have to be active geopolitically. You have to make friends which are, you can say, who are on the same line, same thought process, the way India is moving, democratic lines. Okay, I am talking about. तो क्वाड को और अच्छा लेके जाना पड़ेगा, I2U2 को और अच्छा लेके जाना पड़ेगा. This is what India needs to do right now. And other point is this: India needs to strengthen its influence in our neighborhood. आपको आपके neighborhood में बहुत strong होना पड़ेगा. That's the point here, because China is meddling in our neighborhood. Okay, this is the challenge that we have to deal here. Now, COP27 is to be conducted in Egypt. Okay. But there are some concerns that are being highlighted, that this year climate change debate might be undermined. Climate change को लेके whatever debate is there, that might be undermined, because at present energy crisis is going on in the whole world because of the Ukraine-Russia war. Okay, the whole world is struggling with the energy crisis, and when there are energy crisis, it means that the prices of energy is still relatively very high. Specifically at that time, we cannot talk about moving away from fossils, because use of coal is definitely going to be a relief in the present time. आज की डेट में कोई भी कंट्री नहीं कहेगा कि मैं कोयला यूज नहीं करूंगा, specifically the European countries. Natural gas is not being supplied by Russia. The alternative that they have is coal. So they are not even thinking in this way. That's the point here. And this is a significant challenge for the whole world, specifically the island nations. So one of the island nation, that is Vanuatu, okay, so which is located in Pacific. Now here is the map in front of you. This is Australia. Australia से थोड़ा right जाएंगे, okay, then it will be New Caledonia, and just next to that it is Vanuatu, a very small nation, island nation. So this very small island nation is making a plea to the whole world that this is the high time that we need something called non-proliferation treaty. So earlier we used to have these type of non-proliferation treaty regarding the use of nuclear weapon. Okay, nuclear weapon के context में हम non-proliferation treaty की बात करते हैं, but here the president of Vanuatu is saying that the whole world needs to adopt non-proliferation treaty to ban the use of fossil fuel. This is what they want at present. Why are they making a plea? Because if there is a climate change, if there is, you can say, increase in temperature, the sea level will rise, and as the sea level will rise, definitely the island nations will be the one who will be paying the maximum price. सबसे पहले डूबेंगे कौन? ये island nation. So Vanuatu is a very small country. If you look into the contribution of Vanuatu towards say greenhouse emission, it is negligible. कोई भी वहां पे उनकी तरफ से ग्रीन हाउस गैस का एमिशन नहीं है, बट दे विल बी द विक्टिम एंड दे विल बी द फर्स्ट विक्टिम ऑफ द क्लाइमेट चेंज. This is a major point, and that's why they are making a plea to the whole world that this is the high time that we need to have this non-proliferation treaty regarding completely removing the use of fossil fuel and specifically the coal for the energy generation. But is it going to happen? क्या ऐसा होगा? And what is India's stand on that? That's the important point we have to look into. तो अगर हम इंडिया की बात करें, so whenever like during the Glasgow discussions, okay, COP26, India supported one angle that instead of phasing out, okay, instead of phasing out the coal, we said that we have to phase down the coal. Phasing out and phasing down, what's the difference between them? Phasing out means that you will completely shut down your thermal power units. The use of coal will be eliminated. You won't be using coal at all. Phasing down means that coal will still be used as a fossil fuel, but emissions will be reduced. Either some of the plants they need to be shut, or some of the plants will be further modernized. So there is a difference between them. So India emphasized that coal phase down should be the mantra, as at present as well the developing world, they are still dependent on the coal, and it is very difficult to completely move away from the use of coal. Other cheap alternatives are not available. They are still dependent on the coal, and specifically in the present time where energy crisis is going on, how can you ask the developing, the poor countries to completely eliminate the use of coal, which is domestically available? Same scene goes with India as well, and this is the reason why India says that at present we are not ready to phase out. In future we might be thinking of phasing it out, but at present we are not, and we cannot phase out. So instead of phase out, phasing down should be the term, and this is how it was included. India was criticized by some of the, you can say, climate experts and other people, but this is how we have to think about our national development as well. हमें अपनी national development के बारे में भी सोचना है. So we are realistic about it, but at present the president of Vanuatu is making a statement that this is the high time we need to move away from use of fossil fuel. And other point is this is just one of the steps that we can take, moving away from the fossils. Okay, there are whole lot other things that are required. We have to change our way of living. The blind consumerism that is going on in the world is leading to additional consumption of resources. Now due to the additional consumption of resources as well, due to the poor lifestyle, due to the luxurious lifestyle, the carbon emission is also increasing. So here Modi ji has suggested something called lifestyle for environment, that is the focus should be on changing the lifestyle, reduce the wastage, promote the culture of saving. This is what we need to do here. We have to reduce down our consumption. Without doing that, we cannot fight with the climate change. That's the reality. So maybe you might be thinking that you will move away from coal, but it won't be that easy. And other realistic part is you have to reduce your consumption as well, because the way we are consuming the resources, it is really alarming. That's the point here. Okay. So this is what we had in these two editorials, and then I'll show you what we covered till now. Okay. That was the thing. Delhi की हालत तो खराब होनी शुरू हो ही गई है. Okay. So we covered this, and there was this news that Punjab didn't do anything to stop the stubble burning. Okay, that's the reality. The whole of Haryana and Punjab, they are still contributing with the stubble burning. I have personally like witnessed some of the areas, so I knew it. ऐसा चल रहा है आज की डेट में. Okay, that's the bitter reality. So this is all Gujarat election. Okay, nothing is there for us. आगे चलते हैं. Now India will insist on action clear framework on COP27. Why we need the clarity? We need clarity because while signing the Paris deal COP15, okay, there was one thing that was promised, that these developed nations, they will be contributing financially as well as technologically to help out the developing nations, and there will be transfer of technology along with transfer of money. This is what was promised at that time. So technology transfer was also there, and climate finances, they were also promised at that time. But the point is this, these developed nations are not going ahead with these promises. That's why India at present, we need clarity over it, that what's your plan? Are you going to contribute to it or not? Because earlier former US President Donald Trump, he pulled United States out of the Paris deal. Now under the Paris deal, it was promised that 100 billion annually will be contributed by the developed nations to help out the developing nations. Because if you want to shift to renewables, if you want to shift to clean technology, clean energy, there is a price that has to be borne by developing nations, which might be difficult for them. They might not be having the technology. So it is the responsibility of the developed world to provide them with the technology as well as finances, so that they can shift to the new technology, clean technology, green technology. This is how things have to be done. But वैसा हो नहीं रहा है. Okay, that's the point. And specifically at present the global economic crisis is going on, so we can't expect them to change. आज की डेट में तो global economic crisis चल रहा है. Okay, and like these developed nations, they have this particular argument that boss, economy is down, how can you ask us to contribute the $100 billion? कहाँ से पैसा arrange होगा? And already it is being said that the West might enter the recession by the end of this year. So it is really alarming times. Okay, but climate change cannot wait. That's also the reality. So we'll move to the next point. Next thing, next news is there. Okay. So Rahul Gandhi is playing the cricket. Okay, we won't be discussing that. How much, what are the scorecard? What's the scorecard Rahul Gandhi had? Okay, decline in pre-primary enrollment continued in this year. Now this is the government report which is pointing out few things. It shows that the pre-primary enrollments went down by 30%. Now it's a very big number. What could be the reason? They are comparing the pre-pandemic time, and definitely it shows that pandemic impacted the economic health of the families. The incomes are less, so they don't have additional money to spend on their child. This is the reason why pre-primary enrollment has been decreasing. We have to be very serious about it. If we truly want the new education policy to be a success, we have to make sure this thing should improve, because your new education policy talks about pre-primary enrollment, and here the number is decreasing. So we have to do a lot of things to further improve it. And the point is this, some things are related to the economic health of the family as well. Now we know that how COVID led to the, you can say, lockdown, and how there was a migrant crisis in this country. Things have not moved back to normalcy yet. Okay, उतने बराबर नहीं पहुंचे हैं अभी तक. There are a lot of industries which are still struggling. wages are not increasing, wages are stagnant, industries like tourism is still not up to that level. So things have changed a lot. Okay, post COVID world is absolutely a different one. Lot of struggle has to be done by the families, specifically the less income group, and they cannot spend it on their child. So government have to do something. This is what is demanded. Okay, so this is the other, you can say, information regarding this report is this. Now enrollment in primary schools, which majorly covers class 1 to class 5, also saw the drop for the first time. Not only this, there are some positive things as well. देखिए negative तो है ये, primary में भी कम हो रहा है, but positive is this, that number of students moving from primary to higher secondary, that number has increased. It means that more students are continuing in their schools. Students who were already enrolled, they continue to remain in school. This is a good thing. Okay, from that angle it's a good thing. There is another thing that is highlighted is that number of schools and number of teachers have gone down. Number of schools and number of teachers have gone down. Now there could be multiple reasons for reduction in number of schools. Okay, what could be the reason? Because the government has planned to merge some of the schools. There were a lot of schools that were being run and those were not having students at all. Students nahi the wahan pe. Okay, so they thought that this is the time that we need to have a cluster based approach. So they merged 3, 4, 5 schools and they had a single school, and students from these 3, 4, 5 schools, they are now coming to that particular school. This could be one of the reason for reduction in number of schools. ऐसा हो सकता है बिल्कुल, ठीक है ना. I knew it. It was primarily done in Rajasthan. Okay, in Rajasthan lot of schools were merged. That was the point. आगे बढ़ते हैं यहाँ पे. Okay, so there is another news. Child welfare police officer a must in all police stations. Now Ministry of Home Affairs is asking state to definitely come up with this particular provision, that in each and every police station there have to be a child welfare police officer. See, we have seen in the recent past the crime against children are increasing, and you need to have a different type of approach while dealing with children. You have to be more sensitive. You need to have people who are more trained to handle the child, because a child can be traumatized out of means anything. The victim can be in a trauma. So you need a person who is trained to handle that particular situation. At present, the police might not be able to handle the child. So this is the reason why Ministry of Home Affairs is now advising the states to go ahead with this measure, have a child welfare police officer in the police station. Why it is being instructed to the states? Because police is a stateless subject. The prime responsibility to carry out this reform lies with the state. That's the point here. But the point is this: center is not facilitating additional funding to recruit a person to further have his pension and other career progression things. There is a cost associated with this guideline. Will the states be ready to bear the burden? क्या वाकई states ये खर्चा उठाने को तैयार हैं? This is what the fundamental question will be about. Okay, so I doubt it whether states will be having the additional money for appointing a person as child welfare officer in the police station. So what they will do at max, the existing police officers, they will be given the additional chance. तो ले दे के होगा क्या, जो additional जो existing police officers हैं उनको additional charge मिल जाएगा. Now police is already understaffed and overburdened. Will they be serious about dealing with child welfare? I doubt it. Okay, so it will be again bureaucratic type of exercise that will be carried out the way we implemented RTI. तो जिस तरीके से RTI को लेके मजाक किया था, the existing officers they were given the additional charge of, you can say, the responsibility of RTI implementation. Okay, यहाँ पे भी ऐसा ही होगा, ठीक है ना. But here you need to have a person who is trained how to handle a child who is a victim. So it is altogether a different thing. So other than that, we have this news. Now Russia warns UK over drone attack in its Black Sea fleet. Okay, so this is what happened. I told you yesterday that there was a missile that was fired by Russians. Either it was a deliberate misfire, because that missile was targeting the drone, but it didn't hit the drone. So this is how the things can escalate. Now Western countries, NATO countries, they are already having their presence around the Ukraine, which might not be liked by Russians at all, because the major concern for Russia was Ukraine was going to join NATO, and here it is clear that NATO is openly helping out the Ukrainians. And Putin is also clear about one thing, that this war is not against the Ukraine, but against Ukraine backed by NATO. This is the point here. So chances of escalation are really very high. So we have to have the political maturity to deal with this crisis. Okay. October service signals upstick on improved demand. Things are improving. It's a really good thing. Okay. काफ़ी चीज़ें जो हैं ये improve हो रही हैं, and like this is how it is, and it was the festive season as well. So इसीलिए भी demand improve हो सकती है. Whether it will be sustained, that's what we have to look into. Okay. This is what it was. Other than that, there is nothing much. Okay. So Devansh is asking, good morning sir, I am not able to differentiate between wise and intelligent. Okay. Can you help me out with this? Wise and intelligent. See, the point is this: wise is basically outcome of intelligent decision making. Intelligence is the ability. Intelligence is the ability that the knowledge, the wisdom that you have, you will be utilizing it, and then the outcome will be wise decision making. Okay. So wise is the outcome primarily, and your intelligence is the process, the calculations that you will carry out in your brain. This is the difference. Is it clear, Devansh? Is it clear? So Ravi is asking, sir, the 100 billion help for developed nation to developing nations, is that 100 billion each for each? No, it is not for each. 100 billion for the whole world per year. Okay. पूरे साल में 100 बिलियन इकट्ठा करेंगे वो. This is what the point is about. होगा कि नहीं होगा, that's the separate thing, but it appears to be good. Okay. देखने में लगता है कि अच्छा है, सब अच्छा हो जाए. And at the end of the day, these developed nations, they were the one who started the pollution. They were the one who started the greenhouse gas emission, because in the developed world, first of all, in the developed world, industrial revolution started first. Okay. Industrial revolution से ही तो सारे इंजन बने हैं जहाँ से हमने कोयला जलाया, डीजल जलाया, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. So we are तो मतलब we are still in some areas backward in the sense we are still using the traditional technology. इंडिया में तो बुलक कार्ट अभी भी सड़क पे देखने को मिलती है. Okay. You can see the bullock cart. I can see the bullock cart like there in my vicinity as well. So it means that we are still, you can say, dependent on the traditional systems, which are less, you can say, dependent on fossils. So this is what it was, but Western world में things have completely changed. Okay, चीज़ें जो हैं वो different है वहाँ पे. ठीक है ना? This is what the point is. So I guess the session is complete. So at 10 we have another session. 10 बजे एक और session है हमारा, that is current affairs. Okay, it's a paid course, so you guys can enroll there as well. There we do other, you can say there we cover other things as well and in detail. So Zulfikar Ali is asking, sir, is the feasible to merge school, like it also impacts the employment issue in the future? See, the point is this: schools are not to provide employment to the teachers. Schools are there to provide education to the students. Okay. The purpose of a school is different. The point is this: merger is required, but because you cannot waste your resource. Now there were schools which were having 5 students. Okay. Now in the 5 students, how can you have 4 teachers? 5 students के लिए 4 teachers appoint करोगे आप school में, principal will be appointed, and it doesn't make any sense ना. So we cannot allow wastage of resources as well, because resources are quite limited with us. Okay. So this is the reason. चलिए, so that's it for the day. Thank you very much.